live from New York. It's Friday. What does that mean? It's Friday Night Live with your hosts, Felix and Dr. Marc. And welcome to Trucking to Heaven. That's right, it's Friday, 9 o'clock, Trucking to Heaven. And I think we're ready to start rolling. This has been a heck of a week.
Yes, we had the Nobel Peace Prize announced, which for many people was a disappointment that Malala, that young girl from Pakistan who was shot by the Taliban, was not nominated for the Peace Prize. They gave it to a British organization, I believe, who is dismantling weapons of mass destruction.
Well, that's also pretty important.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that when Obama became president, they gave him the Peace Prize, and that turned out to be a big fiasco because after that we got heavily involved in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, I didn't know Iraq wasn't with him, but Afghanistan.
No, but still, he was continuing.
Slowly
getting out.
As it turned out, he wasn't a complete dove. He was like a hybrid.
I think he realized that the office tends to change somebody. It's not easy. Well, it's an understatement to say not easy being president.
But he's now a HUV. It's a hybrid of a hawk and a dove.
Oh,
a HUV.
Okay.
He's a HUV. He's
if that's what you'd like to call him. But what I would like to do before we continue with any news of the week or any earth-shattering events, we have two loyal followers from Orange County, Lucy Meyer Fox and Lisa Klein. Like to give them a shout-out, say hi. I've been getting some feedback from people that I know who have listened to the show, and they're very interested, said they really enjoy what we have to say. Remember, this is our version of Seinfeld's TV show, a radio show about nothing. However, you know that it's not really about nothing because we want to know what you are thinking and what you have on your mind. So basically, this show is whatever you want to make it.
That's true. Today we're going to try to stick to what's been happening all week. The government shutdown, the motorcycles, gang attacking that young couple and the baby. That's still, every day there's more news about that. We've got, what else do we have, Mark? What else has been going on? Well, obviously,
most of the news obviously is about the government shutdown and trying to work out some deal with Congress so that the country doesn't default on its loans. They're still hopeful that something might be worked out. I don't exactly agree with pushing it down the road another 6 weeks. I think the president has a right idea when he says we should try to work something out that is solid for about another year, takes our mind off the debt ceiling, and allows us to concentrate on the most important thing, I think, as far as this country is concerned, and that's jobs.
Well, the problem is our Congress, who we, by the way, re-elect the same people every 2 years or 6 years, or whatever it is that they are elected, and we keep re-electing the same people. And what do? They sit on their fat behinds till the last minute, and then they try to strike up an agreement.
Proposal. The as a former union member, okay, I know that when it came to negotiating union contracts for teachers or for police and firemen and sanitation and municipal workers, they never really sit down and talk seriously until the 11th hour. Nothing is ever hashed out or spoken about beforehand. They all know it's coming up. They all know there's a deadline, okay? And they all wait for the 11th hour, and then all of a sudden, either you're lucky enough to come up with a compromise or there's some threat of a strike or a slowdown.
Well, that's unfortunate. That's what's... But this is not a union. We're dealing with this in the country, of the United States, and a shutdown of this country will affect the rest of the world for many years to come, because the rest of the world bases their currency currently on the United States. If our currency starts defaulting, then they will switch to Euro, whatever they want to do, to the francs or.
Well, actually, it's the currency faltering, not defaulting. It's faltering. The weakening of the dollar.
No, with the country, if they go into default, then the currency
is devalued.
Is not worth anything anymore.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. So you really, the effects are global. They're not just the United States. They're not just.
Well, don't forget, when I compared it to a union, I know that the country is not a union. What I was trying to say is that there are never real negotiations started until the 11th hour. And that's what's happening now.
Well, listen, if you tell the Senate and you tell the Congress that until they settle, they don't get paid, put them on the same hook as we put 500,000 other federal employees.
Oh, I don't think you would find an argument there with any American. I think it's a sin that these congressmen and women get paid for doing nothing while people are furloughed and not getting paid, or if their job is deemed necessary. Okay, they're working, but they're not getting paid for it.
No,
they will. No, they're not. The police, when they had that incident last week, okay, with that woman driving the car, okay, with the exception of the Metro Police, who are Washington D.C. police, the Congress policemen who were called in, okay, they were working, and the policeman who got hurt, okay, was working, but they weren't being paid. They weren't going to be paid maybe until after the shutdown is over. That's what they were discussing.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. That's the way it is.
And I heard something very interesting this morning. I was waiting at the barber, and unfortunately, they had Fox News on. Okay, and some woman was talking about how disgraceful it is, and that Secretary Hagel should be recalled and resign. It's not his fault that death benefits were not being paid. I mean, Congress knew about this. They knew that when there was a shutdown, that there would be no funerals taking place, that families were not going to be paid. And all of a sudden, Bill O'Reilly, pinhead that he is, they make it seem like it's Chuck Hagel's fault and that he should tender his resignation to the president.
Well, I didn't hear that part, but listen, it's everybody's fault, Mark. I'm not letting anybody slide, from the president down to the janitor. Everybody's at fault for this. Number one, you've got a Congress that's getting paid hefty wages. You've got a Congress that says we don't want Obamacare, but they've got some of the best medical care in the world. Put the whole Congress on Obamacare. Put everybody in Obamacare. Lay off the Congress till they come up with something. Don't pay them. And see how fast we have an agreement on everything. Then we've got this Tea Party who says the president, well, we're not going to deal with the president because he's not even a citizen of the United States. Well, they should all go back home and shove it. It's getting to be silly. This whole country is getting to be ridiculous.
You got a handful of senators and Congress people who are talking. It's almost an embarrassment that these people are elected to public office. And we all know the names: Mike Lee, Louis Gohmert, Stephen King, okay, Michelle Bachmann, Ted Cruz. You know, all of these people who enjoy listening to themselves talk. That's all it is.
Yeah, King is from where?
Iowa.
Don't we have also King from here, this area?
Peter King from New York, yes.
He's a Republican.
He's more of a moderate.
Yeah, he's a moderate Republican.
He's a hawk as far as the war is concerned, but, I mean, show me a Republican who's not a hawk.
Well,
okay, but he is someone that at least you can talk to.
Well, you know, the biggest hawk is who? McCain. And he thinks he's very opposed to the way...
Oh, did you hear what Louis Gohmert from Texas said about him today? He was putting him down without mentioning his name, okay? But the last thing he said was, here's somebody who backs the Taliban. You know, I mean, I don't know where Louis Gohmert gets his information from. You talk about pinheads, that would be a compliment to somebody like that. Words can't describe somebody like Louis Gohmert, Michelle Bachmann, or Sarah Palin. Okay.
Well, listen, you know, we don't want to name anybody, but I guess we should really. But if we name anybody, it's everybody. It's everybody. Everybody's got their own agenda. And, you know, what do they care?
And what's getting lost in the middle? You know, the common man. The problems of the common man is what's getting lost here.
And the problem is 80% of the population or 90% of the population are not really affected by it, so we really don't react to it as we should. We should all be reacting to it just the way as if you were laid off. If you're not working, if you're affected by this.
Well, and I constantly keep coming back to that same question that's on everybody's mind, okay, and this is for Democrats and Republicans alike. Where are the jobs? Where, you know, we're wasting money on, you know, foreign wars, where, you know, spending money. I mean, why can't we, as Chris Matthews would say, work on the infrastructure of our country? We have bridges that are failing, roads that need work, that need repair. Okay? You can't tell me that some of the Americans who are unemployed wouldn't jump at the opportunity. They're good paying jobs. Okay? We have enough infrastructure problems in this country where people could work for years.
Well, you know, you say they're good paying jobs, but you do need special skills that, you know, and the people...
They could be trained.
Yeah, but that's we need a short-term solution now. We got too many people unemployed, and we have the government just spending money like crazy on everything and anything. We're getting strange beeps. I think we're getting...
Was that a call?
No, we're getting invaded.
Maybe you got a text. Somebody... Oh, I think what we should do is remind everybody what our number is. If you want to reach us by phone, it's 516-665-1860. And Felix, our Skype address is...
Trucking to Heaven. You know, we just need to basically get our head out of our asses, everybody, as I said. You know, go out there and let's let the government know we're not happy. Let the Republicans know we're not happy. Let the Democrats know we're not happy. I don't think there's one politician right now that I'm really happy with. Not that I don't agree with a lot of what they're doing, but I don't think they're doing enough.